video, we're going to be talking about the aesthetics of your pamphlets. In other words, I'm going to be talking about how to make your pamphlet look pleasing to the eye. And then later in the video, we're going to be talking a little bit about how to use Microsoft Word. Microsoft Word is a word processor that you'll probably be using in high school, college, and most definitely in university. So Microsoft Word can be used to create different types of text, but for our purposes, we're going to be using it to create a pamphlet. If you're just revisiting this video because you forgot how to use a certain function of Word, fast forward to here. If not, we're going to start by looking at some examples of pamphlets. All those pamphlets look satisfying. They all look pleasing to the eye, and there is a reason for that. And the reason is design! So design can mean so many different things in different contexts, but for our purposes, we're only going to be looking at 3 characteristics. 1, fonts. 2, borders and spacing, and 3, photos. First, let's talk about font. Font is the style of the character of writing. So for example, this is Chalk Duster, and this is Georgia. Different types of fonts are used for different types of text. Think about the way people dress. If I'm preparing for a job interview, I might want to wear something a little bit more sophisticated, like a blouse. If I'm just hanging out at home, I'll probably want to wear something more comfortable and casual, like pajamas. People dress differently for different occasions. The same concept goes for fonts. Different types of fonts are chosen for different types of text. Think about this. Which of the following fonts would you use if you were writing a poem about love? Leave it in the comments below.
Font A or font B?
Now, let's move on to our second characteristic, borders and spacing. So borders and spacing is all the empty space in your pamphlet. Empty space? Why would empty space matter? But let me tell you, it plays a big role in making your pamphlet look aesthetically pleasing. To get a better understanding of that, let's look at the following pictures. Weren't those so great and satisfying to look at? But now, let's look at some different pictures. Weren't those just so frustrating to look at? I know I was frustrated, but borders and spacing can have the exact same effect. As a general rule of thumb, you want to have the same amount of empty space on your left and right side, as well as top and bottom. So you want it to kind of look like this.
See? Satisfying.
And not like this.
Very frustrating.
Lastly, I want to talk about photos. I do expect all of you to include photos into your pamphlet. You don't necessarily have to take the photos yourself. You can if you want to, but most of you will probably take them from the internet. And if you do, please don't forget to send me a list of all the links. We do want to credit those who actually took the picture, right? So in terms of photos, I want you to choose 1 photo per poem. And I do expect them to have some kind of link or connection. For example, if you're writing a poem about the forest, maybe you'll want to include a picture of trees or wildlife. If you're writing a poem about fruits, I don't want to see a random picture of a rollerblade. Unless maybe your poem is about rollerblading and eating fruit. Alright, on to part 2. Part 2 will just include a series of tutorials on how to use Word to make a pamphlet. So when we first open up Microsoft Word, this is how it's going to look like. So first things first, if we're making a pamphlet, we want our page to be landscape, not portrait. How do we do that? So first we go to Layout, Orientation, Landscape. So as we can see, we've changed it to landscape. And since we're doing a tri-fold pamphlet, we want 3 different columns. Now we only have 1. So we want to go to columns, which is over here. Click it, the drop down menu, click 3. Now you have 3 columns. You can't really see, but they're there. Make sure, yep, they're there. So now we want to change the margins, which is your borders, which is all of this space. the space that's going to have nothing in it. We want to change it to a smaller margin so you have more space to put your work. Oh, right. So you go to here, margins. There's going to be a drop-down menu, custom margins, and we're going to put everything to 1 centimeter. Just like that. Press OK. If you get this little pop-up message, it's fine. Just press ignore. Alright, now I'm going to type some random gibberish so you have a better visual of how the margins look like. As you can see, the text stops here because there's a new margin. Let's say you want to start working on your next column. You can go right over here to breaks and column. So here you've skipped to next column and you can continue your work. Just gonna put this here so you have a better visual. So here, this space here, remember this space, we're gonna fold it right down the middle here. Same with here, we're gonna fold it right down the middle. So we want this space, once we fold it, to be the same as your margins. How do we do that? You just go back to columns, click more columns, go to here, width and spacing, and under spacing, you can put 2 centimeters. Why 2 centimeters? Because we've already put our borders to 1 centimeter, and if we put here to 2, we'll fold it in half, and it'll become 1. So then all of our pages, individual columns, will have the same amount of the same width of border. Let's say you want to add a photo to your column. You can go to Insert, Pictures, Picture from File. Here it's going to take you to the photos that you have on the computer that you're using. Let's say I want to use this photo. I click the photo, I click Insert, ta-da! It's right there. I can make the picture smaller or bigger. Just make sure it doesn't cut off like that, unless you want it to. So for me, I want it to be like this. Let's say I want to bring this down, I just press enter, and I want to put a title, say title, and I want to put this in the center here. I'll just go right up here. Let's say you're in a different menu. You go to home, you click this little guy right there. It's going to bring it to the center. If you click this, it's going to bring it to the right side. So this, I want it to be in the center. If I click this button here, it's going to make my text align. It's going to make my text align with the borders. It's not a very good example right now because this is not great text, but if I break it up into words, there we go. You can see over here, it's aligned perfectly with your border. Just like that. So if you want to insert a really cool font, you can go to Insert, Word Art, and let's say I want this one, and you can do title. Just like that. You can say bring it up like that. So there's so many different functions in words. I really invite you guys to just explore and see what Word has to offer, but these are the basic functions of Word. One really important thing to keep in mind when you're working on the layout of your pamphlet is the order of your columns, the order of your pages. So I didn't have any white paper, so I took paper towel, bear with me. So your pamphlet should look like this. You should have a front cover, a back cover, and when you open it up, it should be page 1, 2, 3, and 4. So while you're looking at the pages on your document, on Microsoft Word, just make sure you have one page that goes page 1, back cover and front cover, and another page that goes page 2, 3, and 4. Because if you're not careful with that, when you print out your pamphlet, you might have your pages all mixed up. If you're not really great with spatial recognition like I am, just take a random piece of paper or paper towel and write it out yourself. Write it out yourself and then compare your page with the actual page on the document. That's going to help you a lot.
So to show you guys how it looks on the actual document, it should be like this. Page 1, back cover, front cover, another page, page 2, 3, and 4.
So I hope all of you have a lot of fun doing this project. I know I'm super excited to see everybody's good work. So that's it for this video. See you in class.